Boom. Says we are live. Let's go. Hello, YouTube. I am Cody, the special grade sorcerer of the last arc. Welcome to the last arc. Here I'm joined today on a News Coup interview with Straw Hat Lucas. But today we are also joined together with Katie Paisley, Pikachu of renowned honor of TikTok. Why don't you let the people tell us where to find you and what you're all about?
Yeah, I am PaisleyPikachu on TikTok. I have been doing One Piece content since about June. I started reading One Piece in June and then kind of just blew up from there. And I've been doing reactions to it ever since then. And now I'm also reading Bleach, so that's coming as well. I also am a founder of the Worst Gen Reading Club. We have a Discord where we're currently reading Haikyuu, and we're gearing up to start a One Piece reread this week. So now is the best time to join that club.
Yes, and in Vex or 3-Day in the chat, if you could, I will send you a link to the Worst Gen Discord on our Discord, and that way we can plug it in the chat and post it in our Discord so our members can join. But yes, very, very excited to have you today, Katie. Hello, audience. Of course, you know me. I am Straw Hat Lucas, helmsman of the last arc. And as Cody said, we are joined by PaisleyPikachu herself, Miss Katie. How are we doing today, Katie?
I'm doing very well.
Good, good.
How are you guys doing?
Very, very good. Cody, how you doing?
Always great.
You're always
good.
great. This is true. The special grade sorcerer of the last arc, always great. Always special grade, one might say, even.
I am Katie. Just to let our fans know how gassed you are on One Piece. How long did it take you to get through the entirety of One Piece?
I read 1,090 chapters in less than 2 months.
That is amazing. That has me beat. I think the most manga I've ever read in a continuous sitting was all of Berserk in 2 days, and that was about.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah,
I am so impressed by that. That's it. I thought I went through One Piece quick, and it took me 5 months to get caught up because I was watching the anime mainly, but all those chapters in 2
really
months
fast.
is crazy. Yeah. I sped through it. Well, I won't lie. Once I hit Dressrosa, because of the pacing in the anime, I was like, manga time. We're going to the manga.
yeah.
But yeah, that's very, very impressive. So I did have a little bit of an icebreaker question for you. Recently on your TikTok, which shout out TikTok, me, Cody, are like the TikTok guys of the last arc, us and our brother. The doctor of the group, Smokey, he's also the emergency food, of course. We're the TikTok people. But it's always so nice when we can get people from those other platforms on here. But so yes, you've had this series recently that I find fascinating on TikTok, where you were giving the Straw Hats. I think you did like 2 or 3 videos on this. Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you care to for our audience, kind of reiterate what you had said in those videos? Because I just the main Straw Hats. Actually, just give me the East Blue 5. Which Pokemon do you think the East Blue 5 should have?
So my controversial take was giving Luffy Pikachu
Mhm.
because I mean Luffy's my favorite character and Pikachu's my favorite Pokemon. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give him Pikachu. But also he's a rubber man.
Yeah.
So when Pikachu gets mad at him, it's not gonna do anything.
That writes itself. Come on now.
Yep. And then for Zoro, I picked who was it? Oh, it was Oshawott. Specifically Hisuian Oshawott, because I like the sword coming out of the final evolution's head, and the Hisuian one is dark typing as well. So I just thought that fit with Zoro, especially in the later arcs for Zoro. Who was it that I picked for Nami?
What's the Z Pokemon?
Oh, the cat from the new gen.
The
Sprigatito?
Pokemon. Oh yes, Sprigatito. I just thought that was the one that I played with in Violet, and it just seemed so like it would get into trouble, and so would Nami, and they would just have shenanigans together. For Usopp, it's Sobble, because Sobble's bio says that he's stressed out and anxious and crying all the time.
Yep.
But then Inteleon is a sniper, so that fits as well. And who else? I'm trying to remember who I picked for Sanji. Oh, the little Firebird.
Torchic?
Yes, Torchic. Yeah.
Brilliant
Like,
picks.
The
Yeah.
only one I would
Perfect
change
for Sanji.
is I would change Zangoose for Zoro because they both start with Z, and because Zoro and him both use slashing attacks. I
Oh,
think
and
that'd
then
be
you could
sick.
give
Well,
Sanji
and the flash
Viper.
on him.
Yeah, and then flash on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could give Sanji Viper because Viper and Zangoose, they have like in their Pokedex a rivalry between them, so it'd be like a perfect matchup. Then.
Yeah.
And then I
And a
think
lot of people wanted Chimchar for Luffy, which that that totally makes sense too. But I wasn't
Ooh.
gonna not give him Pikachu.
See,
No,
I think
Panferno.
yeah, Panferno would be good, or Grookey in his evolutionary line.
Yeah.
Like especially with the
Yep.
drums of
With the drums.
liberation. Yeah,
Yep.
Rillaboom was getting the drums of liberation going.
The fire one, the Tepig evolution.
Imbor.
Yeah, that one
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
he's like a glutton who could eat like a bunch of food, and he has those fiery attacks, firefighting.
Yep.
Everyone loves firefighting.
Yeah, everyone. That's why they did it for like 4 gens in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody was upset about that. Hashtag grass type forever. What up?
And then I have some more questions before I'm gonna pass it over completely to Cody. Yeah. No, so you and another mutual of mine, Tony Chels, shout out. One of the nicest people I've ever met in the One Piece community on TikTok. She's just a sweetheart. The GOAT. You have a reading club, like you said at the beginning, the Worst Gen Reading Club. Wonderful name, by the way.
That was all Chels.
Yeah? No, I like it. I like
Yep.
it. Why don't you what mangas have you guys started reading yet? I know you're gearing up for the big One Piece free read, like you said. So what other mangas have you guys dipped your toes into?
So the official one that we're currently going through is Haikyuu. I think this week or next week we'll be doing discussions for volumes 10 and 11, I think is where we're at. So that is going super, super well. It's something I had wanted to read for a long time, but I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if it wasn't in the group. Like that is taking it to a whole new level, and everybody reading it together and just getting hyped about these characters and the different volleyball matches is so much fun. But we also have a ton of threads, like sub channels under the anime and manga channel for pretty much any popular manga anime that's out there. So like I'm reading Bleach right now and posting all my thoughts in the Bleach channel, and Chelsea's watching Fruits Basket for the first time, so she's posting all her thoughts in there. So we have the official Haikyuu read going, but we also have spaces to just talk about pretty much any anime or manga that people want to read and watch for the first time.
So I think a great way to segue and let Cody start spitting with you is to talk about Bleach. So where are you at in Bleach right now?
So I just finished the Soul Society arc last night.
Oh,
and earlier today I started the next arc. Yeah,
the Aaron car is Death arc. Cody,
what'd you say?
You were speaking the language of the gods for a second.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. The next arc in Bleach, if I'm not mistaken, is the Aaron car arc, correct?
Arrancar.
There you go.
Yep.
Arrancar.
Yeah, listen.
Hey, you ever done them NASCAR track? I saw one of them Aryan cars, and Ichigo used his banka.
His banka?
His
no, I'm not that bad.
His banky. You should go hit it with that. Get you a good tincture. All right.
But yes,
I never know how to pronounce anything, so.
Oh my goodness. I watched all of Bleach, dubbed, subbed. I read it as it was coming out weekly. I was into the big three more than I was the total anime kid at school growing up. So like hearing people like actually like reading these series for the first time is like so surreal to me, because I was like, whoa, I was a child when I was watching that. What were your first thoughts on getting introduced to Ichigo and Rukia's dynamic in the beginning of the series, and how Kubo was using a slice of life villain of the week to introduce characters?
I loved it. I did start getting a little bit tired of like the villain of the week after a bit, but it felt like the right time when he started switching it into, okay, now we've got like a more overarching story happening. But I love Rukia. Like I adore that character so much, and I love her and Ichigo's dynamic. Like where I'm at right now, I'm not really sure what's going on with their dynamic, and neither is Orihime, but I love it. I just love those two characters.
Okay, are you Ichirukia or are you Ichihime?
Uh, I don't know any spoilers,
Oh,
so like all of my
oh,
ships are just like wild. Okay, I like Ichigo and Tatsuki. I don't know why. I just feel it in my
that
heart.
is so. That's so valid, but
That is
like
valid.
that's very valid for like where you're at in the series. I
And
feel it. I could feel it.
she's always watching him.
I'm only like half of an arc ahead of you in Bleach. Cody,
Oh wow.
he's the one that pushed me to get into Bleach, and I do not regret it at all. Yeah, so
It's so good.
yeah, it's
So
it's
good.
insanely good, and you're gonna really, if you enjoyed the Soul Society arc, you're really gonna enjoy the next one. It's got a little bit of a slow build up, but it's great. It's great. Once it hits, it hits.
What was your favorite
I just
fight?
love these characters.
Oh
What was
yeah.
your
Ooh, my
favorite
favorite
fight
fight.
before Soul Society, though?
Before Soul Society.
Yes.
I don't remember the Hollow's name, but it was the one at the gravesite that
Yes, the
Ichigo fought
Lantern
and lost
Fisher.
to. I love that. It felt like the stakes were raised in that moment, and
Is that
Ichigo
the
losing.
wait? Did you say that when he was fighting the Oh my goodness, I
The
read
Lantern
it.
Fish.
Yeah, what's it? Grand Fisher?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was
Yeah,
just
I think so.
I was trying to remember
Yeah,
who it was.
Uh,
Oh
yeah, I
goodness.
love that, and the way his first loss was like tied to something personal. It was so good to read.
Mhm, mhm. I thought the twist of Grand Fisher being the Hollow that killed unalived Ichigo's mom was just
Yeah.
brutal. It was brutal. Um, so you had mentioned the characters before Cody's question. Who do you think your favorite character besides Ichigo is?
Oh, Ichigo's not even close to my favorite character.
Oh,
I
okay.
love him. I love him. This is so controversial, and this is why I started getting spoilers when I was posting on TikTok. But I love Renji so much.
Ah.
Like the way I feel about Renji is just and it's not like a simping thing. I just genuinely love this character.
I ship Renji and Rukia together so hard, like so
Big
hard,
time,
like
big
yeah,
time.
big time. Like
the
um,
way you feel for Renji is the way I feel for Kozuki Odin in
yeah.
like One Piece. I
Oh,
can't even explain my
yeah.
love for Odin, and people are like,
Hmm.
"How do you put him above Roger? How do you put him above Luffy? How do you put him above Buggy and all that?" And I'm like, dude, there's something about when Odin felt Roger's presence and he ran straight
Yep.
in. And after getting decked back, he got up and said, "No, I'm getting my own get back." And him being the one to win, like Odin's the reason. I don't think enough people give Odin credit that Odin's the reason we got to see Whitebeard and Roger fight. If it wasn't for Odin recording all of that in the journal, none of that would have been
Yep.
shown to us. Like that's my man's. He's such a and like the way he progressed, like he used as a plot device to show off how strong Roger was, how strong Whitebeard was. Like to go around the world and be like the one that like actually helped Roger solve the mystery of the one.
Before we get
Odin's in
too
my top 5.
yeah, oh, that's awesome. Before we get too into One Piece, though, I had one last question about Bleach, if you don't mind, Cody.
Oh
Um,
please, I love Bleach. I can
uh,
talk about anything.
what do you think of Chad, though?
Chad was my favorite character until I
Yes,
met Renji. So
yeah, that's
Chad's my
fair.
number 2.
Yeah, Chad is my favorite character. He's just so cold and he's so cool and he's got the arm
Yep.
thing and it's so good. Oh god, it's so dope. Yeah, I
I
love Chad.
love that
And his
the
relationship with Ichigo is so good.
Yes, yeah.
watching
The
the anime
respect.
for Bleach subtitled actually, the Japanese voice actor for Uryu Ishida is actually Sasuke Uchiha. So that's another little cool
Huh.
cameo to hear him.
Huh.
One of my favorite fights in all of Bleach actually is Uryu Ishida versus Mayuri Kurotsuchi. Mayuri Kurotsuchi probably being top 3, maybe my favorite character in all of Bleach. It's like he's up there. Like he's just so devious and weird looking, and he's actually Kubo's favorite character too. Kubo has cosplayed him
Huh.
before. You can
Speaking of
he's
Kubo, I just want to shout out J Degenerate for having 2 goated takes in the chat real quick. He said Kubo is, I think, the best artist aesthetically out of the big 3, which I would actually agree. And then he said, "I love Chad. It is the best bromance," and I agree with that as well. So
It is. It
I
is.
have to shout that out real quick. So like I said, before we move on to One Piece, I had kind of a tricky question I wanted to ask you. I kind of talked to you about it before the stream. So as a female content creator, with the anime scene being kind of what it is, we all know that con life, especially, can be kind of toxic. Have you faced any toxicity from like the wider anime community or anything like that? As you know, a woman who is in content creation.
For me, it really hasn't been as bad as I've seen it be for other
Mhm.
female content creators. The worst kind of like comments that I get and stuff are people who are like, "Oh, you started with the live action," which isn't true,
Yeah.
but also like they just try to invalidate me. It's like, "Oh, the live action's what brought you in. You're not a real fan." I'm like,
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how you got into One Piece. You're still a fan." But that's
Exactly. Yeah.
really about the extent. I don't know what happened. Like I missed most of the toxic fans. My first One Piece video blew up and I only got the good people. Like I don't know how it
Yeah.
happened.
It was real bad on One Piece TikTok for a little bit. I'd say about like April is when it started to die down and everything kind of
Hmm.
started being good and kosher and stuff. But yeah, it was really toxic because I'm friends with a lot of content creators in the blurred community on TikTok, and like the excessive racism and sexism in that community from anime fans is insane. Like it is just terrible,
Yeah.
terrible, terrible. But to segue into a little bit of a lighter topic, you brought up the live action, and I would love, as the live action liaison of the last arc, I would love to hear your thoughts on the One Piece live action.
So overall, I liked it a lot. It felt like One Piece, like the vibe that it gave was One Piece. I don't think it was perfect. I think there were some story decisions that I wish hadn't happened,
Mhm,
specifically with Cocoa Village, and like them all not knowing about Nami's sacrifice and being behind her and everything. That I was
mhm.
like, oh, that was such a great moment in the source material, and them having her back and her not knowing. Like that, I missed that. I also missed the Usopp pirates like so much.
Yes.
They're like my favorite, but I understand why that got taken out. But most of the decisions to change story beats and condense things, I agreed with. I think that there were some moments where it was a little cheesy,
Mhm.
but overall, I loved it. And the casting, like, and Yaki Godoy is Luffy for me.
Yes, yes, entirely. I was tickled pink, I would say, about the live action. Like you can ask Cody. I was so hype. I couldn't help it. Like I had to make
Yeah.
content on it immediately and stuff, and I felt bad because the strikes were going on, and I've expressed remorse about that enough. But like it just it overtook me because I
Hmm.
obviously, like, I lived through the Dragon Ball Evolution stuff and the Cowboy Bebop live action, which I still don't blame the actors in that one. I blame the writers, but nonetheless, you're right. Like Anaki, it's everyone really in that whole cast embodied the characters that they were meant to be playing.
Hmm.
It, but I do agree. I think Nami's backstory was lacking, and which is weird because
Hmm.
Sanji's backstory was amazing. Usopp's
It
backstory
was
was
so
good
good.
for what we got. Luffy's backstory was amazing. Zoro's backstory was really well done. And then Nami's, the most important one, they kind of like they flubbed it a little bit.
Yep.
Like especially like with Bellamere, she wasn't presented as this
Hmm.
strong. She stood up to Arlong and like take your shot kind of thing. It they could have done a little bit more with that. Yes.
Yeah. That moment in the manga and anime when Bellamere like bursts through the door and puts her weapon in his mouth, that was amazing. And the fact that we
Yeah.
didn't get that, I was just like,
Mhm.
oh no.
Ooh. Oh, that's good. What little moment that wasn't in the live action did you wish they had done in the live action? Something like that. For me, I always give the example of Arlong seeing Zoro's scars. Like I wish we had gotten that.
Oh yeah. The when Usopp said goodbye to the Usopp pirates, that was the moment when I was reading One
Mm,
Piece that I was like, this it took it to a new level for me. I was like, this is different. Like I didn't know what I was getting into when I was reading this, and this is so emotional. And the way I got attached to Usopp really, really fast when I was reading it, and then him saying goodbye and that panel of him crying and the
mm.
boys crying. I love that. So not getting that hurt me a little bit, but it's okay. I
Ah.
understand.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I love all of this passion for the Syrup Village arc and Usopp as a character because he was my favorite Straw Hat until Robin was introduced and later Frankie.
Oh yeah.
Um, and when I was telling people this on TikTok, because uh, like I was doing my reactions to the episodes and like telling people, I was like, yeah, Usopp's my favorite. They're like, how is Usopp your favorite when Sanji and Zoro or even Nami? And it's like, it's because it's Usopp. He's great. He's
Yep.
the everyman. He's us if we were
I
Straw
love
Hats.
him.
Yes, he's perfect, perfect. Cody, your mustache
Yeah,
is so cute.
that was another thing that I guess people did kind of hate on me for latching onto Usopp so quickly, and then every 250 chapters I would do like a ranking of my
Mhm.
favorite characters, and he was consistently number 2 every time. So people
That's
didn't
awesome.
like that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just love him.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Cody,
What is up?
what is up?
If you had to pick one of the things you'd want to see most from season 2 of the One Piece live action, what would you want to see?
Hmm. Well, I know there's been like a lot of discussion of how Chopper's going to look, and I just wish that they would devote. I hope that Netflix gives them more money because I want Chopper to have the same cuteness level as Detective Pikachu in the Detective Pikachu movie. Like that was the cutest
Hmm.
thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I want that from Chopper.
Hmm. Yes, I
But I'm also
loved.
very, very excited for everything Town. So that whole I wish we'd gotten that in season 1, but that's going to be awesome.
My idea for Chopper, and I've gone on record and stated that I think they're going to use like the same kind of CGI that they use from Sonic the Hedgehog. Also, shout out to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for announcing that Shadow's coming. Let's
Let's
go!
go!
Live and learn.
Hey,
We're
did
gonna
you
get
not
live and
see?
learn in
Did
we're
you?
gonna get
Did,
dude. No, they just showed a new thing. Dylan posted it in Gang Gang today because Dylan's the Sonic guy. Like, there's no one I doubt for like leaks or anything. But Dylan posted that they used they showed a actual thing using the Sonic logo from Sonic Adventure 2. Like, it's got Shadow's like thing at the bottom of it and Sonic's at the top for Sonic 3. Like, it's real. It's happening. We're getting Shadow. We're getting Live and Learn.
Oh,
I
that's
love you. There he is in
that's
chat.
awesome.
There's that guy. Treat a wolf. I love you.
to the wolf. Shout
Oh,
out.
he's
But
like.
did you not see the post-credit scene in Sonic 2? They teased Shadow.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
I mean, he already knew, so you weren't really spoiling it.
I'm not really spoiled, but like it's like when it comes to Netflix, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I
Yeah.
get you. But no, I think Chopper. You were about to say a point on how they're gonna do him. You said Sonic.
I did,
He said
and then
Sonic.
I
Yeah.
said Sonic, and then she said Detective Pikachu, and then
Detective
I know what
Pikachu.
your take is, and I'm like, no.
No,
Absolutely
I
not.
think the most realistic and like best way to film and do it right would probably, or not do it right, but do it enough justice that fans wouldn't be mad. Is, have you ever seen the Netflix series Sweet Tooth? It's
I
about a boy
have.
with
I
antlers and
haven't.
like deer features.
Yeah, I've seen like pictures of it. I haven't watched it.
I think they're probably going to go something with that route, maybe like a little bit more hair prosthetics and stuff, but putting in actor and makeup because they seem to be really big into practical effects. And
I
let's
got
be
it
real,
down.
over the long run, especially since they're planning for 6 to 12 seasons right now, realistically, it would be a lot cheaper to have an actual actor there in prosthetics than CGI. But if they do go CGI, I hope to God it's the realistic Chopper drawing we got from Oda. If you guys have not seen that, I
Yeah.
will post it in the VC.
The only gripe I have
Yeah.
about that is if you look at like the reviews and how many like how harsh the critics have been on like the child actors on the One
Yeah.
Piece live action. I do not want to see
Mhm.
One Piece fans and especially One Piece fans. They are harsh. They are ravenous. But if they get a Chopper child actor in a suit like that and do the acting for Chopper, I just know what it's gonna look like, and I don't wish that on anyone. I
Do
don't
you
wish
think?
that on anyone.
This is a question for both of you, really, since we're in this discussion right now. Do you guys think that if they do CGI, it would be wise to bring in Brina from the English dub to do Chopper's voice as well, like the same voice
Absolutely.
actors?
That's such a hit. That'd be
I
so easy.
don't think I've heard Chopper's English dub.
It's adorable.
I've heard
Like
it.
she is
Okay.
amazing. Yeah, she does amazing things in Chopper's voice.
Katie obviously knows that the Japanese dub of Chopper is the same voice actor they use
It's
for
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Like I was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yep.
Did you also know that the Japanese voice actor for Luffy is the same voice actor for Krillin in Dragon Ball? Oh man, I'm
I
about to
didn't
drop
know
some
that,
more
no.
lore for you. In the English dub of One Piece, the voice for Usopp is the voice for Krillin. So
Funny
when you're
story.
watching Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, when Krillin answers his cell phone, it plays "We Are" as his cell phone theme.
Huh.
It's a little cool nod,
That's awesome.
if you didn't know that. So, yeah, I got all those
That's
little nod.
awesome.
That's like the accumulation of 15 years of One Piece and Dragon Ball, and just
everything.
I feel like sometimes I'm like Kira when he first touches the death note in the helicopter, and I'm like sometimes energy just like takes over, and I'm like, I remember.
Oh goodness.
So going through One Piece, if we're on that right now, Lucas, what were you gonna ask?
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Okay, going through One Piece, what were some of the most like memorable moments for you going through like binging it? I want to compare and see like which moments were like huge for the community and see what like clicked for you versus like what clicked for me reading week to week. Because I caught up week to week just as Luffy got to the bottom of the Impel Down cell and found out
wow.
Ace wasn't there, and it was that's what I was like. There's no more. Okay, well, where's Naruto? There's no new Naruto. Okay, where's Bleach? There's no new Bleach. What do I do with my life? But it was
What
a
a
tragic
spot to
time.
catch up on too.
It was
Yeah.
no, it was a tragic time to be 11, but
yeah, but
for me, like the biggest moment at first was that moment in Syrup Village with Usopp and the pirates. But then after that, like Vivi's speech at the end of Alabasta, it's forever in my brain. Like that reading that for the first time was just incredible, and they all put their arms up. Oh, so good, so good.
you were right.
And then Water 7 was a big deal for me because of Luffy and Usopp being my favorite characters, and them fighting like just broke my heart. I was a wreck the day that I read that. Just like
You
I
caught
couldn't
up
believe
on.
it. I thought Usopp was going to be gone from the crew, and it just like shattered me.
Have you watched any of the anime for that at all?
One second, Cody. I hate to interject.
I haven't, no.
Where would be a good place for me to post the interview in Worst Gin? Like, what would be a good channel for me to post in there?
The self promo probably.
Okay, awesome. I didn't see it, so thank you. Hell yeah. All right,
You're
continue. I'm so sorry.
Have you
No,
caught
that's
any
okay,
of the
that's okay.
anime for any of these impactful scenes that you've wanted to go back and rewatch with voice acting?
I in the anime I'm at the filler arc that's right after Logtown. So I've seen everything before that. Which Logtown in the anime I thought was even better. I like the
Thank
stuff
you,
that they added.
Daddy
And then
Masterson.
the scene on the execution stand was just more impactful for some reason in the anime. What have I watched past that? I've seen some stuff from Dressrosa. I had to watch a few scenes from Dressrosa, and then some stuff from Wano, and I am watching the new episodes as they come out weekly.
What's really interesting about you being actually getting through Logtown and watching all of the filler is a lot of the filler that is actually presented in Logtown are concept ideas that Oda wanted to introduce before the Straw Hats got to the Grand Line, but he was so determined on making Chapter 100 being that number that he did it, that he had to cut some things out of Logtown. But he's went back and like stated that if he wanted to add certain things like Usopp getting the goggles from Daddy Masterson, or Nami doing the other thing, or Luffy finding that bar with the guy who knew Roger. Like, these are all things that Oda has said. If I could redo it. Yes, absolutely. The cook-off. Oh my goodness, the 4Kids stuff with the cooking song was so... It's ingrained in my brain. Oh. I'm telling you guys, I'm old. I don't look it, but... Yeah, but what would be your favorite filler moment then that they added into Logtown from the anime?
The Usopp with Daddy Masterson. I love that whole episode so much. I mean, I love Usopp, and I just thought that story was so sweet with the daughter. Yeah,
when they all thought he missed, and I love when they all thought Usopp missed the mark, and Daddy Masterson is like, no, he actually bullseye. I was so,
it was so
good. Through the eye of the weather vane. Didn't Oda confirm Daddy Masterson is canon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I like
also
the
stuff with like the Gold Roger bar. That was really cool. I liked all of that.
And that's when, because they said that Luffy doesn't drink, which I always found funny because he does, but he only drinks when he's getting new crewmates. Like, it's only that one cup of sake, and then he's done because he doesn't like the taste of alcohol. Like, it's so smart. I love it.
It's also more symbolic
I hadn't
because
even thought about that.
Yeah.
He shares it
The
like he
one
shares
cover
it with
Saki
Sabo
being
and Ace, and
sentimental.
it's like he's committing
Yep.
like new members into his
Mhm.
family. Like I
Yeah.
love that idea. Like,
Yeah.
That's why the moment in Wano where he doesn't do it with Jinbei right then, he's like, no, we're gonna do Samurai too. Like, is
Yep.
so impactful. Like, especially like personally, like it's just that moment when because I was almost caught up at that point, and it was like, oh man, this is getting close. I'm almost like to the end, and like so I was getting hit so hard with Wano. Like it's my number one arc right now. Actually,
Me
no, it's
too.
not.
Me too.
Egghead has passed it now, but
so
it
after, oh no, you
no,
first.
no. I was just gonna say it's so I don't know. I get sentimental very much so when I think of Wano and like that first experience with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't even with me. Wano is my number
I
one
know,
for.
brother.
Do you have? Oh my
Me
goodness,
too.
I can't even stress to you guys how long I've waited since Luffy and Law. Go, hold on, let's keep going through it. We'll keep going through it. We stopped at Luffy and Usopp fighting at Water 7. So, what was more
Mhm.
impactful moving on from the series? And what are some more like impactful movements that moments that really moved you? Movements.
I mean, all of Water 7 Enies Lobby was just I
Peak.
read that all in like a day, and it put me through the ringer. Like Usopp and Luffy fighting, and then like Kaku broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart because I latched onto him immediately, and then he betrayed me. And then everything with Robin's story. When Luffy tells Usopp to shoot the flag is one of my absolute favorite moments of the entire series. Um, yeah, Water 7 Enies Lobby is
What do you?
just
Oh wait, wait,
just
wait. What do you mean?
so
Usopp
good.
wasn't there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm
He
sorry.
told
So good.
Soga King to shoot
Sometimes
down the
the
flag.
noses confuse me.
It's okay.
Sometimes the
It's
noses
you know.
confuse me.
Sometimes I think Kaku is. I get it though. I get
Yeah,
flacked for
yeah.
that a lot. Like, if Luffy can confuse Kaku for Usopp, why can't I? Damn it.
You know what gets me though? The one I don't get is I get sometimes why people would confuse Usopp and Soja King with the nose and everything, but I don't get how people can confuse Caesar Clown with Gangster Gastino because they're two different people entirely.
Yes. I love Gastino. So good.
Yeah, so good.
So after Enies Lobby, then you would have met Garp and had the revelation that Luffy's dad is actually Monkey D. Dragon, the Revolutionary. How did you react to that information being dropped after what was one of the most like craziest arcs ever?
I was more shocked by Garp being his grandfather. Like I didn't expect Luffy to have ties to the military at all. So that shocked me more than his dad being, the head revolutionary. And then Garp was just a funny character. Like he acts like Luffy. So it was just like oh, this is shocking that he's a Marine, but also he acts just like Luffy. So it was just one hit after another with the Garp reveal.
Also, with Aokiji and Robin's final goodbyes, that really tugged at my heartstrings a lot because both Robin and Aokiji had very close ties with Saul, being
Yeah.
two of his closest friends, I would say, because he's a giant in the military. I don't know how many friends would be
Do
friends with
you
Saul.
think I heard this take the other day, and I would love actually both of your opinions on this. About Robin and Saul's relationship and Aokiji, especially Cody. And I think this is going to hit you hard. Do you think Aokiji followed Robin as closely as he did because he wanted to make sure that Saul was right and that she was deserving of a good life?
Ooh,
I think so. I think a lot
maybe.
of times,
Yeah.
like if I think about it, I wouldn't surprise me if we were to see like in other flashback panels because we see in Robin's flashback during Ennis Lobby, we see all the pirate crews and all the people she tries to call family somehow miraculously get destroyed, or after they like go to betray her, they're immediately taken out somehow in some way, shape, or form. I think Aokiji was keeping a
Yeah.
closer eye than he would admit to on Robin, and that's like headcanon, obviously, but I'm gonna believe it till someone tells me it's not real.
I mean, it kind of feels like that's what was happening.
It was really cool too, like hearing that like he believed in the grandson of Garp. Now knowing that Aokiji and Garp have those same ties, like seeing that he has the same faith in
Yeah.
Luffy. Also, that interaction that he had, like giving the payback to Smoker and saying, "Well, I owed your grandpa one." When Aokiji and Luffy first encountered each other at the beginning of Enies Lobby or Water 7. Um, Super dope. So after that, it would have been. Oh man, they say they're going to Fishman Island, but I think they go to
Sabe.
Thriller Bark.
Thriller Bark next.
Thriller Bark, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
And
go to
shout out to
Thriller Bark.
vexyz, the Lurking Legend. This is his favorite arc ever, by the way. So you got to be careful if you
Ooh,
got any
before
trash
we-
takes on it, because vexyz loves it.
Before you move on more to Frisk the Ditch, the shipwright of the last arc, is in the chat. He's usually the co-host for the News Coup chapter or interviews, and so I just wanted to shout him out real quick. Tell him I love him. Thank you for letting Cody take the place today, man. It means the world. Oh, Cody.
What?
Cody, I love you. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I love Thriller Bark. I had so much fun in that arc, just start to finish. There was nothing that was like, well, I can't say nothing. Everything with Brooke's backstory was devastating. But like when they're on Thriller Bark itself, it was just fun. I just had a blast reading that, especially after the emotional like turmoil of the previous arcs. Thriller Bark felt refreshing, and then it hits you with Brooke's backstory.
Brooke's backstory.
But the moment when Luffy's like, when he pushes the zombie back into the ground, he's like, it's an old man with severe injuries. This is one of the funniest things I've ever read.
One of the coolest things I loved about Thriller Bark was immediately, as soon as Robin and Frankie are the two newest crewmates to actually be solidified in the crew, Oda immediately separates them, and they immediately show out and work together even to like get through the island of Thriller Bark. Hashtag Robin for life.
Robin.
Yes.
Who said that? Who said that?
I did, baby. Let's go.
That's my OTP. That's my
Robin. Robin's my favorite. Frankie's my second. So that chemistry's there. They're together in every color spread. You can't tell me it's not canon.
They're married, Your Honor. Like,
yeah. Like,
listen, if they were to have a mom and dad on the crew, Frankie be the dad, Robin's the mom. Jinbei's the weird uncle who took too long to show up at Thanksgiving.
It took so long.
And wasn't at the last two.
Like, oh my goodness. Thriller Bark, as cool as Luffy shoving the head back down into the dirt, and all of the comedic moments and all of the Moria's I think I really like that, nothing really happened. It was just a genuinely good arc. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. How did you feel when you read that?
Not a single thing. I think that I got that comment so many times. Like, nothing happens in Thriller Bark, and I had no clue what people were talking about. I didn't know what Thriller Bark meant. I was like, I genuinely thought people were telling me it was a boring arc. So it was almost, instead of being like this big emotional moment for me, it was almost funny. Because I was like, oh no, they were being serious. Like, this is an actual thing in the One Piece world, like Zoro saying that. So I think people commenting that a bunch kind of skewed my view of it a little bit. But I loved it because I love Zoro and all of his like brushes with death, and I've got thoughts on that. So that's kind of where that all started for me.
Mm-hmm. See, because you reacted on TikTok to One Piece, and so did I. So I get it. Like everyone, they'd either say, "I'll see you in Wano." Nothing happened.
I'll be waiting for you in the land of Wano.
Yeah, in the land of Wano.
Yeah,
come at any cost.
And I love that comment.
Yeah, so do
I had that manga
that
panel on save for so long. I don't think I cried harder than when I knew I wasn't going to be able to use that when Egghead started, because I was like, no, let me stay in Wano. Let me stay.
But to take it back to Thriller Bark, with the nothing happened moment, I had no idea what was going on. So everybody just kept saying nothing happens in Thriller Bark. So I'm watching Thriller Bark, and the next thing I know, Zoro's standing there covered in blood, and Sanji's like, "What? Where'd all this blood come from?" And he's like, "What happened here? Nothing at all." And I was like,
it was really cool.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Also,
but all I said in my arc review for that was, Thriller Bark's been great, but nothing happened. But Cody, yes.
When did you guys get first exposed to the song of Bink Sake? Did you guys actually go out and go listen to it after you had read Thriller Bark, or did you go at the introduction of the song in Thriller Bark when Brooke was first singing it? Like,
I waited until the end.
Till the end? That's amazing. Did you watch that whole end scene in the Funimation dub or sub? Fun fact, I met Ian Sinclair. He's a really nice man.
Ooh.
I've met him twice. I met him once at the Missouri Comic Con, and then I met him once, I think, at Galaxy Con. It was he's super dope. I love him.
I have a mutual on TikTok, Jacoby actually, Jacoby DS. Shout out, my man. But he's reacting to One Piece, and Ian Sinclair, when he was reacting to Thriller Bark,
Yeah.
hopped in his chat and was like talking to him, like, "I heard my voice. Like, what's up?" It was so crazy. But yeah, no, being
I
Sake.
think that he did the same thing for Monkey D. Lindsay as
Yeah,
well. I think he
yeah.
hopped in one of her lives.
Oh my goodness! Shout out to Monkey D. Lindsay. We're supposed to be getting her on here soon. Whenever her schedule frees up,
so
I've got that
exciting.
already confirmed and in the works. So yeah,
That's
I know.
awesome.
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so fearless when I reach out to people. I'm like, hey y'all, I'm Cody. You know who it is. You know what it do. That is what it does.
I mean, the worst
humans.
that could happen is they say no or just don't respond.
Or
so.
don't
Oh.
respond. Randy
Yeah,
Troy.
man.
No, I'm joking.
Ethan Klein. I'm kidding.
Ethan Klein. No.
Stop. No, I'm gonna get no. Stop.
No, stop. Yeah. But no, with to answer your question, Cody, with being Sake, I luckily got to experience that in the anime. When I read through it, obviously it did mean a lot to me as well. When I first read through the series again after finishing or catching up and everything, but experiencing it in the anime with Lola being like, "Oh, we all know this song. Let's sing along," and they all start singing it together. Oh, and then seeing what happened to Brooke's crew and everything. Oh. Ian Sinclair nailed that scene. Nailed that scene in the dub.
Yep.
So good. Take us there next, Cody.
I'm a boomer. I don't know how to work Discord, and everyone's getting upsetty. I can't fix it. Fix it
It's
another
okay.
day. Thank you, Fritz. Let it be. Let it be, chat. Chat's just gonna be small.
Chat.
You know what?
That's
I
just
am
Gojo,
Gojo.
Cody.
Let it be. It's infinite. You can go back and read chat at your own time, y'all. Chill out.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I don't even know how to see the chat, so I'm just chilling here with you two.
That's good. That's good. I know you don't gotta read chat then. Let's see. After Thriller Bark is another really good arc that is Sabaody Archipelago, and as we know on Sabaody Archipelago, bubbles are everything. And oh my gosh! Neither of you have read the. Lucas, you gotta take this away. I want you all to know I have read chapter 1100, and Sabaody hits.
Yeah, I think what Cody was going for was what are this is the last arc, by the way. But what Cody was going for is what emotional moments from Sabaody. If I could actually,
yes, the emotions hit so much harder after 1100 because
well, you're just making it more hype for me,
reread
buddy.
is like no, because like when you think of like that's the introduction of Kuma coming back and swiping all of them. We get the introduction of all the supernovas. We the realization that Ace's paper is burning, but Luffy's like, nah, he's a guy.
Yeah.
Let him be.
He's on his own adventure. He's got this. But no, I didn't like at first. I not necessarily didn't like, but I was like, man. After coming down from Innie's Lobby and then Thriller Bark, which I thought was a banger of an arc as well, going into Sabaody with the whole Fishman riders at first and stuff, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to vibe with this that much. And then the punch happens.
I just can't because I want you all like everyone here has read 1099, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes,
I want you all to think that Bonnie and Kuma are on the same island at the same time. Just think about that.
You're right.
Just think about that.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know how else to react because you'll never read it. Oh,
fine, Cody, take over the interview for 10 minutes. I've got.
Okay, I'm taking over for 10 minutes. So at Sabaody Archipelago, with so many different characters being introduced, what would you say would be your character introduction in the whole arc itself?
I had been waiting for Law for a long time. I was really waiting for Law. I think my favorite though is probably actually Duval. I thought that was so funny.
Oh my god, the build up to that was so like insane. And then like it actually went on reread, and I think you'll be able to pick this up for Worst Gen. But it's actually like a play on Sanji's face being locked in a mask and everything from the whole Cake Island arc. Yes, you get it, girly. You get it.
Yes, in
Oh,
my reaction, I had made comments about Duval wearing the mask, and I was like, "Oh, it's kind of like the Man in the Iron Mask because he's, being mistaken for Sanji." And then that ties back in, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, Oda, he's so smart. He's so
my
smart."
favorite character introduction reading week to week I wasn't week to week at then, but I remember binging through it and getting to chapter 500 and realizing 500 was when Silver's Rayleigh was introduced. And he's sitting
Ooh.
there just drinking as like, oh, don't worry, I'm just an old man. I'm captured. Like, oh my goodness. Oda was in like on reread seeing Rayleigh and Buggy, like Rayleigh scolding Buggy and Shanks in chapter, I think it's 19. Like, when Buggy is reminiscing about like how he ate his fruit and like him and Shanks arguing about is it north or south, and then Rayleigh's like, "Shut up, we're on the Grand Line, you." I, but Rayleigh's introduction in Sabaody was really cool. What did you think about the first introductions of hockey?
I remember like just having a lot of questions, but I was like asking them rhetorically. I was like, "Don't answer me," but I immediately felt like it was going to be a big deal. I thought it would be a big deal a little bit faster, but then it came in at the right time in the story. But I liked the little like hints at it that Oda dropped before finally like having Luffy level up, basically.
Oh my goodness, it was something spectacular. I remember the theories coming out that like
Oh
Rayleigh
yeah,
had sea stone prism sandals
yes.
was a big one. That was and I
I
always
love
thought
reading old theories.
I always thought that that was like somehow like a ramen guy is actually Toby theory, like from Naruto, like the ramen. Oh my, have you read Naruto?
I haven't read. I've watched all of Naruto and like 30 episodes of Shippuden, so I'm not very far into it.
I don't know.
Oh wow,
I'm yeah, we're
it's next
dedicated
though
to the
after
cause.
Bleach.
I I own all of the physical manga for Naruto. It is a story that
Oh man.
it's actually what got me into anime. I always would like claim like my first one is Pokemon because I had a Pokemon themed birthday party and like before I was a year old, I have a picture with Ash Ketchum and Pikachu, like as a backdrop because Walmart was doing sales, I guess. Like everyone in my high school somehow had baby photos like that. But anyways, like when Toonami started airing anime, one of the big ones that like caught on was Naruto because it was all ninjas. It kind of reminded me of
Hmm.
Dragon Ball Z and everything, and that was like the first thing that like me and my dad would watch weekly. And I remember that during like the one of the episodes of Naruto, Cartoon Network went out. And like they just like had an outage during Naruto. And I mean like I didn't even throw like a tantrum or anything.
No.
I was sitting there just like silently crying, like, it's okay. The next one will be okay. And my dad, bless his heart, rest in peace, I love you. He went out of his way on the internet to find a site where I could read all of it, and then he had taught me how to work the thing and how to
Wow.
read all of the things on the screen so that I could read all of Naruto. And then after Naruto, he put me onto Dragon Ball Z because he's like, "Oh, we watch this one too." And then after that, the floodgates just broke, and then I was caught up weekly reading Naruto, reading Bleach, reading One Piece. I was reading Hunter x Hunter. I mean, I was like, like
Oh
you go
wow.
through the shonen phase, and like shonen power fantasies are probably
I'm
like
in
my
my
favorite.
shonen phase right now.
It's mm,
In my 30s is my shonen phase.
I'm jealous. I wish I could I wish I could go through that again. But like being able to like thank Naruto for like catapulting me into like where I am now, and being able to like say I was able to read the big three weekly because of that. Like it's
Yeah.
insane to me. But no, Sabaody character introductions. How did we tangent all the way to Naruto? Love Naruto.
I don't know how we got there.
Yeah.
Something
So
about the ramen guy.
Oh yeah, Sea Stone Prisms. Yep, it's a pretty good tangent. Dang, Cody. So, after Luffy got transported away, did you foresee how many arcs that we would go without our main cast being present to Luffy, and what was that like for
No.
you?
That was super shocking for me. I figured that well, first I thought that everybody was going to show up at Marineford somehow, or not Marineford, Impel
Thank
Down
you.
somehow, and then that didn't happen. So I was like,
I
okay, well, there's this big thing happening at Marineford. It's going to be like the Avengers, where they all just like drop in with power ups or something. I was shocked that that didn't happen, but I'm glad that it didn't. Looking back, it feels right. But I was just waiting. I was like, no, Luffy needs his family. Like he needs them there.
No, I get that. I remember reading it and I was like thinking, okay, I can't wait till Zoro shows up and finds out Luffy's helping Crocodile. This is insane. Like I can't wait till Sanji
Yeah.
sees that Bon Clay is here. And I guess like moving on from I guess we got to go in chronological order. How was your reaction to Amazon Lily, the Isle of Women? That was some of Oda's like most out of pocket writing as I remember it being. Like
It really.
Boa shows up and
I
kicks a
mean,
dog first thing, doesn't she? Like, isn't that a?
a baby dog and a baby seal,
Listen,
right?
I'm just saying.
Isn't
Like,
there like a
I'm
baby
just saying.
seal?
If any other woman had been introduced into One Piece and kicked Chow Chow, she wouldn't ever be considered for like top 3 favorite women in One Piece. Second off, Boa's almost 30, flirting with 17-year-old Luffy. Well,
Yeah,
third off,
yeah.
why is
I mean,
everyone grabbing Luffy's junk in the beginning? What I just like.
stretching it.
It's like there's no way. There's no way. Also,
Oda went wild in that arc.
I had no clue.
I had a hard time coming around on Boa. Like when she kicked the puppy, I was like, that's not my favorite thing. What a way to introduce a character. But I did eventually come around and like I understand Boa and I really like how I think Oda did a great job of exploring like the trauma that her and her sisters went through. So it's so funny to me that in this tiny little arc he can do like this crazy stuff with them grabbing Luffy's junk and all of that, and then also have this amazing like nuanced moment for Boa's flashback. I was like, what a writer.
Oh, yeah, I was, I liked that Hockey got a little bit more fleshed out and that Luffy
Hmm.
showing more conquers the more he uses it, and that actually fitting into the theme of you can't get stronger with Hockey until you use it more is like really incredible to
Yeah.
me that like I'm pretty sure, and I don't want to misspeak because I know that I've got like a bunch of like One Piece like super enthusiasts in the chat right now, but I'm pretty sure Luffy's first instance of Conqueror's Hockey was when he saw like Duval's Sea Cow Master thing, and he stopped it and like pacified it immediately with his Conqueror's Hockey. To be able to then go to Amazon Lily and exhibit as much Conqueror's Hockey as he did was like crazy to me. Like that power creep
Yeah.
he's Luffy's my goat. I love him. So after Amazon
Well,
Lily
and when he did that,
oh yeah,
when he did that as the reader, you still don't understand hockey all that well. Like there's still a lot that needs to be explained. So it's just like, oh my god, what is Luffy doing? Like what is he capable of?
but what's great about Oda's writing is that the characters who do understand it are even more in shock and awe of it because he's exhibiting the same kind of
Yeah.
hockey that Boa had as the Conqueror's Hockey, and they're like, this is super duper like it's not rare anymore, but it's not like it was super duper rare. Like that was super incredible to see. Like ah. So Luffy had to latch onto Boa's body underneath her cloak to get to Impel Down. And this is one of my favorite arcs in like all of One Piece. I'm not even gonna lie. Thriller Bark is
It's so
I
good. It's so good.
Magellan being one of like I think like top 10 scariest like people in the whole One Piece verse, but he nerfs himself because I've got to eat this poison food. He doesn't. He could just eat regular food. Like that's the
He
thing.
could. Great IBS representation.
Oh, absolutely. Like I had an ex who had ulcerative colitis, and man, I get it, man. When you gotta go like that, you gotta go. What's
Yep.
up, Lucas? First reactions. Let's get them. 1100. On a scale of 1 to 100, what do you rate that chapter?
Just 6,000, like
I told-
7,000, 8,000, 9, 10. Jesus, I cried.
So
like
the
you're going
Sabbat
through
Odie,
it.
Yeah, I was.
so the Sabbat Odie thing, does that hit a little bit harder for you when you realize?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, it doesn't.
He's gonna do a lap. It's a very good chapter though. You're gonna have a great time reading it. I know I did.
I'm
I
so
was a little-
excited. I
little
figured
shell-shocked.
with it being a milestone chapter that it was gonna be a big one.
I think definitely. I'm just gonna say read it. Yeah, like
I'm planning to go live on Sunday when it releases on the app
on Viz.
and
Yeah,
do a live reaction to it. So I don't know. Everybody will probably get to see me crying on live.
Yeah, they will. I almost cried. It was hard not to. I caught myself on stream a bit.
I'm super glad that we got you back in time for Impel Down, where we get the reintroduction of Bon Clay, because you voiced Bon Clay in the Alabaster review for Grand Line Bound. Do you not?
Yes, I do.
Oh, we love that.
You-
Your voice as
yeah.
Bon Clay killed me when I watched
thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Could you give us some more memorable quotes that you would like to say as Bon Clay?
No. It takes me a second to warm up with his voice. I can try.
You know,
Yes.
Yes.
you're not Sisyphus. You got this.
I got this.
Yeah. You're the
alright,
go. Here, mute up and like, what's your trigger line? Is it straw boy? Oh. Like, I think it's the same voice actor for Frankie in the Japanese dub, and I don't think I could get that. Like,
Oh, really?
oh,
Don't give up, Mugiwara.
I love you. That was so good. So Luffy,
yes.
let's see what other goats got reintroduced in Impel Down. Oh, well, first off, introductions. Ivankov.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Shout out to the
goat.
Chrissy Morns, the best Ivankov cosplayer ever. Shout out to Ivankov, one of the best One Piece people, representations of the LGBTQ community, like being as free. Ivankov being one of the most freest human beings to be able to control like everyone's gender and their own gender and just being free and like comfortable in their own skin. Love that. I love it so. I love it so much.
One of my favorite characters.
A little bit further ahead, but I'm also voicing Ivankov for Smokey's reviews when he hits Impel Down. So
that'll be interesting.
Oh yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but obviously it has to be boisterous and loud.
Also, how did you feel about Jinbei finally getting revealed after having him hinted at back in Arlong Park?
Ooh, I was so excited for him because I had a couple of mutuals who were like, "That's one of my favorite characters," and I was like, "Why? I need to know why." And so yeah, it was a great introduction. I love the dynamic with Ace. Like, oh, it's so good. So
but
good.
Who was your favorite introduction in all of Impel Down? I guess that would be a better question.
I mean, it's Eva. Yeah, it's Eva, hands down. Even like including the reintroductions of like I love Bon Clay.
Well, I was about to be all like, that's my boy Bon. That's my boy Bon Chan. You better watch out. You better watch out. I love Bon Clay.
And I wasn't expecting the emotional impact of Luffy and Bon's friendship.
Oh,
that hit me so hard. It's so good.
See that when I was first going through One Piece, I always had people say Bon, when I was doing Alabasta, like my reactions to it, people were like, "Oh, he's the goat. He's the goat. Bon Clay's the goat." And I was like, "What? Like he's cool, yeah. Like he sacrificed himself so the straw could leave, but like, yeah, like why is he the goat?" And then
when he screamed,
it was the moment,
I felt that.
It was the moment he was pulling the sled and talking to Luffy the whole time, like it's gonna be okay and everything. And then when he was screaming, like oh man, my goodness.
But one of my favorite character reintroductions has to be when Luffy got to the bottom of the cell and it's revealed that Ace isn't there, and all you see is pitch black and all that little dialogue box. Oh my god. Crocodile coming back into the story and actually being forced to help Luffy was one of the greatest plot twists I could have never seen coming.
Yeah.
That's like telling me
me either.
That's like telling Child Cody, hey, Goku, Frieza, and an android are all gonna team up to save the universe one day. I would have been.
Now I'm ready for us to get to Marineford so I can talk about my favorite Crocodile moment in the whole series.
Oh my god, Crocodile more than pulled his weight during Marineford. I can't. I'm still on Impel Down. I can't stop stressing how much I love Mr. 3 and how much he pulled his own weight. And my goat, my king, Buggy. My pirate king, Buggy, and the other goat, Blackbeard. Oh my god.
You love
Blackbeard and Luffy's interaction. Sorry, Katie. I'm a Blackbeard stan. You're going to have to deal with this.
No.
Dude.
Oh, no.
I can't believe you didn't bring up Jaya. Hold up. Let's put this on hold right now. How did you not mention
Yeah,
one of the greatest like final villain
it was such a
introductions
good
of all
moment.
time? Like the inversion of dreams, how like Blackbeard and Luffy don't like each other's pies or drinks, but by
We
the
didn't do
end of like
Skypiea either.
oh my well
Yeah, we
Oh.
didn't do it.
But by
why
the
did
end of
what
it,
was
yes, Cody.
we'll get to Skypiea after Jaya. I gotta spit because this is like one of my favorite moments in all of One Piece. Period. Jaya's in my top 3 favorite arcs in One Piece. I'll go on.
Oh wow.
Yes, Jaya is so good. The invert like Luffy going out of his way, like I just gotta beat this guy before sunrise, whatever. But like when Blackbeard's telling him about his dream, there's some people that aren't worth picking fights with. And after seeing Luffy's determination and his way of goals, Luffy still doesn't like the taste of cherry pie. He would never succumb to Blackbeard's dreams or the ways that he like pursues them. But Blackbeard sees Luffy's goal and he goes, this drink isn't too bad. Meaning that, like, he respects Luffy's way. He respects Luffy's wish and wanting to find the One Piece and shares in that goal as well. But he has his own way of doing it. And that's when you get the reveal that he has his own crew there. Like, Doc Q, Jesus Burgess, like, Van Augur. Oh my gosh, Van Augur sniping all of those birds, having Usopp worried. Like, someone shot these from this far away. And, Jaya is such a like well-crafted masterpiece of like I think that when we finally do get the introduction of Blackbeard fighting the Straw Hats, like his crew versus the Straw Hat crew, it's going to be almost a complete inversion of Jaya, where like Usopp is going to be able to foresee like the bullets from Van Augur coming, or like, and I don't know. I just think that like Jaya is set up really well.
I like that.
It's going to be really good.
Ooh,
But now for Lucas to spit on Skypiea, because what were some impactful moments for you in Skypiea that you think you have to mention, other than the dance? Other than
the dance is amazing, especially in context with
like,
Wano.
and that's one of Oda's favorite panels to draw. He's went on record and stated like, that madman.
Because Robin, like I said, is my favorite Straw Hat, and a lot of that came from not only Indy's lobby but Skypiea because of like her, like when she's out and she's exploring the ancient city, man, and she's in her zone. Oh, so good.
Yep.
So good. But
how much Zoro stepped up, because even fighting a Logia user, which we knew was going to have problems ever since Lobetown, and the East Blue with Smoker like constantly being this thorn that like we can't touch people who are made of smoke. How are we going to touch someone made of lightning? But to see the unwavering determination of the Straw Hat crew to constantly do what's right, like when NL's like, we've got to pick one of you guys to die, and they all point at NL, like all 4 of them. It's like, we choose you, like, also like we choose you, Pikachu, like, because NL's the Thunder Goro user. Haha, that's funny. Speaking of NL, that's a pretty cool guy. What did you think of his cover story? You have any thoughts on that?
I loved it. Well, that cover story is kind of what like planted the seed. And I don't know how like married I am to this theory still, but I think that the Straw Hats are going to go into space at some point, or Enel's coming back and he's going to team up with them. Like I see Enel teaming up with the Straw Hats. They may not like each other, but they're going to help each other somehow.
I've had this theory because Figureland Garling is like of the moon variety, and I think that somehow it'll come down to actually Fujitora fighting Figureland Garling, and in some way I think he's going to pull the moon down on Garling in one of his attacks.
That would be amazing.
Dude, what are these hypothetical fights? You said one like just a few moments ago. These hypothetical fights you keep bringing up are amazing. The Fujitora versus Garling, awesome. Then Usopp and Van Augur, like Usopp using the observation hockey to see the bullets and stuff. Like, yes,
that would be so good, so good.
I told you guys, I'm just a hype guy. I love Shonen.
Fujitora is so good. He's my favorite admiral.
Oh man, but we were on Impel Down, so I guess it's time to we make our way out, we get out. Also, Magellan didn't get beat. That's one of the coolest things I think about that arc, is that Magellan never took an L. Like, I've never seen another shonen manga actually put someone through the ringer as much as Oda put Luffy through the ringer. I think the only other arguable time is Bleach, and you guys will get there, but it's near after. I don't want to spoil you all, but it's after a certain arc, and it's during the Fullbringer arc. So when you get there, Ichigo, you just know Ichigo's in for a fun time. That's his Jujutsu Kaisen arc. That's his Shibuya. That's it.
Um,
Have fun
I
with
think
that.
Luffy not being able to defeat Magellan also kind of gave weight to everything, not only that happened in Marineford, but afterwards with him realizing like I need to take some time and get ready and get my crew ready for the new world. Definitely.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
like getting them to Marineford, actually taking time away from Luffy. I have the manga volume somewhere. Is it here? Where is
Oh
it?
no, but I like that shirt.
Thank you. It's Hunter x
You're
Hunter.
welcome.
We love
I know.
that.
Yeah. I still need to read Hunter x Hunter.
92,
Oh, it's so
101.
good.
It is.
I'm afraid because I know he hasn't finished it yet.
I have.
Yeah, I don't like where it's left off at the moment.
Yeah.
I wish I had stopped earlier and just waited for him to progress more.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear with it. After with Berserk and the author passing away, uh
Hmm.
it's like it's a big fear. Where did Cody go? Oh yeah,
Yep.
he's getting the volume. He's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I so you having a good time? You liking the stream so far?
Yeah. Yeah. This is fun. It's
Yeah, right.
fun.
It's a
It's
different
easier than I thought it would be.
yeah, it's a different flow than TikTok and like doing lives and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Definitely. But yeah, we like to have fun here. You know, do a little
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, no.
I'm
When,
always up for talking about One Piece.
oh
So
yeah, oh yeah. But with Impel down too, like just to keep us on topic while Cody vivaciously looks for this manga, um, it it was an
One day
unexpected arc for me.
I'm gonna
Um,
Mhm.
organize my whole selection of manga and everything's gonna make sense.
um, because I after Amazon Lily, I didn't realize just like obviously Sabaody happened, and it was the most terrible thing that's happened in One Piece so far at that point. And then after how lighthearted Amazon Lily was, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be okay. And I had already know that Ace was gonna pass, so I was like, Ace is gonna do his thing, and then he'll
Yeah.
go meet up with the Straw Hats. And then it was like,
Yeah.
nope, nope. Like that is not how this is
Yeah.
gonna go down. Ugh.
It was devastating. Just the whole time.
Ugh. So with the Worst in Reading Club, just while we're waiting on Cody, what series do you guys plan on doing in the future? Do you know?
We don't know yet because we're only doing one volume a week with Haikyuu, so I think there's 44 volumes total. It's going to take us a while to get through that one. We're thinking that maybe the next one will be something shorter. That way we
Mhm.
can actually, it doesn't take a year to get through one manga.
Yeah.
We haven't started taking suggestions yet. We might do that, but we also might just like pick three and let people vote like we did last time.
hmm I would definitely, if you do take suggestions, suggest Dawn to Dawn. An anime for it was just announced, and it is my favorite currently running manga besides One Piece. Like
Yeah.
it's a masterclass in shonen. It's so good. A lot of
Hmm.
paranormal kind of stuff if you're into that. A lot of like ghosts, yokais, aliens,
Yeah.
fables from our world and stuff that get integrated into the
Ooh, I
plot. So
love that.
oh yeah, it's
Hmm.
really good. I'm not going to go on about it too much because I ostracize Cody all the time to read it. So, like,
I'll have to check that out though. That sounds
yeah,
really good.
it's insanely good. Yes.
I'm not a slice of life guy, but I've given up on finding that manga. But I own that was like the first manga I bought for One Piece was One Piece 57. I think it's like where the Marineford War starts and like Whitebeard just came up out of there. What was your thought
Mm,
about taking the shift and focus away from Luffy to introduce us to what is the goat father of One Piece? Not the stepdad of the sea, but the dad who stepped up to the sea.
I loved it. I love everything about Whitebeard. But I think that's something that Oda does really well is he will shift the focus to a new character and it doesn't feel jarring. Like it's okay to step away from Luffy for a minute. I felt the same way with Odin and Wano, but Oda's so good at getting you attached to these characters in such a short, like relatively short amount of time. And then he emotionally devastates us. But yeah, I loved the shift toward Whitebeard and toward all of his crew. It just felt right for me. And it made the end of Marineford so much more impactful.
Oh my goodness. Man, that stretch of manga going week to week and Oda blessing us with what
Oh,
was double page spread after double page spread after double page spread. Marineford's actually a very short sum of, I think it's like a couple chapters. It's only like 2 volumes, so it's like 16, maybe 20 some chapters. But I mean, the amount of fights, action, and lore that is pumped into there. You got the Doflamingo taking out Moria because someone higher up told him to. You have, no, I mean, let's get through it.
Can-
Like, oh,
Can I
You.
just chime in? Doflamingo's speech at Marineford, though. Oh my
Yeah.
Yeah.
goodness. About who the heroes are and who the villains are, and the history is written, and to a child that doesn't know poverty, war, like it's just so
So
good.
good.
I had to interject. I'm
good.
sorry, Cody.
Oh no, you're good. I didn't like interject. I didn't like do a lot of things on like the forums and posting and not because I was
Mhm.
super young. But like the friends I did talk to who were into One Piece, we had all had it in our headspaces that like, yeah, I mean, Whitebeard's super cool. Oda focused a shift on him. It would be cool to have Whitebeard as like a mentor Luffy role and to take the place of Ace if Ace dies. If Whitebeard dies, Luffy gets to take Ace on his crew because Ace doesn't have a captain anymore, and that's super cool. And we were all like prepared for like one or the other, one or the other. When both happened, I don't think I've ever sobbed more like reading a manga. I was like, this isn't fair. And then, oh my goat, seizing opportunity. He said, "Oh man, is this TikTok coming to the front? Here, let me film this under a cover." Like he had the mic set up and took that fruit and said, "Ayo, this is mine, trademark." Bam! Oh,
Yep.
and then Shanks showing up. And then the reveal that he was fighting Kaido, like I cannot. Like there was so much happening week to week that like it's so hard to talk about because it's crazy to think that Oda had this all planned, and then to go into like the first break I ever had to experience with One Piece was Luffy setting down the hat, and those words that Jinbei like that speech Jinbei gave to him. You can focus on what you've lost, but you haven't lost everything. What do you still have? Like
What still
Yeah.
remains?
Yeah.
that
You know,
So good.
I think one of my favorite small moments too from Marineford is Luffy stepping up to Whitebeard, which is not really a small moment, but you know what I mean. With everything that's big happening
Yeah,
around
yeah.
it is a small, like self-contained moment. But him just standing and be like, "I know what you're trying to do. You want to be the king. You're gonna have to go
retroactively
through me."
like on reread even like seeing Luffy and Whitebeard on a double page
Mhm.
spread. It's like Oda knew exactly what that would mean later on for the series. Like being able to see Luffy standing tall next to a Yonko he only has a 300 million berry bounty. He's Luffy
Yeah.
with no conquers, like no real hockey control. He's Luffy who hasn't even like learned like all of what his devil fruit can do because Gear 3 still shrinks him to a baby form. So it's like he still doesn't have full control over his fruit even. And I mean Luffy's up there standing next to a Yonko saying, "No, I'm gonna be king of the pirates." And then you can think about making Ace. You can try. Like that's so crazy to me. Like it's like Oda being able to like have this 10-year plan and knowing that we're coming up on the end as rapidly as we are. Like it's so oh man. But what were your what was your favorite fight in Marineford? I have to know. Would be your favorite like character interaction, fight, memorable moment you remember most?
Favorite fight. I love when Whitebeard is just losing it there at the end, like just
On
unleashing there at
Akainu?
the
Oh
end.
my gosh.
So good. So good. Because that's how I felt in that moment. And he was doing what I wanted to do. It was so good.
When Sengoku pushed Garp's head to the ground, it's like, "Garp, what are you doing?" He's like, "You better not lose your grip there, Sakazuki. Because if you do, I'm gonna murder that red dog." Oh my god.
Oh, but
Garp,
I'm still mad at Garp for that.
No,
for
no.
not doing anything.
He
But
warned
listen.
those boys. He warned them. They were their
No, but
own men,
listen.
and he respected their freedom to the point he let them die
Just like
for it.
Whitebeard did what we wanted to do to Akainu, the Don did to Garp.
Yes. And I mean,
Yeah.
like, Garp's a man, like, you have to wonder what Garp had to live through to make him think that pirates are so bad that he has to side with the Navy to fight them. Because, I mean, what's so bad about being a pirate if he's met Shanks and knows who Shanks is? Like, I highly doubt that when Luffy mentioned red hair, like, Shanks gave me this hat. Shanks gave me this devil fruit. Why wouldn't Garp just go away and trash all of that immediately? Like, no way that they haven't had some sort of interaction, or that Garp doesn't have some sort of respect for pirates or certain kinds of pirates.
He knows it's Roger's hat, probably. Most likely, Garp knows it's Roger's hat, so he didn't throw it away because he knew what it was. I think with the whole Shanks thing, you said something about, like, you know, in Garp and how he feels about pirate stuff. One thing I always felt or remember is that Shanks is a pirate. Like, he was looting ships and stuff right before he met Luffy. Like, so he does do these acts of violence that other pirates do. He probably does it in a more humane manner, but he does do them. Like,
I've always
it's like Luffy in Skypiea, where he's like, "We're going to steal the gold and run." Same thing.
But like, to counteract that, like Shanks protected all of those other weaker pirates and weaker kingdoms. He said, and he has his allegiance and flag. Like, I think if anything, if Shanks were to be a villain archetype like that, it would be more so of a Robin Hood that's been manipulated by the world government and their control of the news. Well, like, Kuma is a tyrant.
Think about it. Luffy is the man that Roger is waiting for, right? But Shanks would have known about the man Roger was waiting for, so he would try to imitate that man.
Yeah.
So, like, his actions, I feel like, and especially the way he influenced Luffy, is because of Roger and his actions.
I always think back to the chapter after Luffy expositions his dream to the crew, and Robin asks, "Well, who else did you tell?" And he's like, "I told Sabo, Ace, and Shanks." And she's like, "How did he react?" And Luffy says, "Oh, they all laughed, but Shanks laughed till he had tears in his eyes." I think that when Shanks heard the same words that he heard from his captain, he cried, because the same way he cried when he clutched Roger's coat, when he after Laugh Tale, like, that was his dream. And I think that in that same way, like, he laughed till he cried. He had tears in his eyes because he heard those same words. And so, like, I think Shanks heard those words, and that's when it was determined for him, this is definitely the child that Roger was waiting for. He even restates that idealism to Rayleigh when he meets Rayleigh, and Rayleigh had said he'd been waiting for him, because Shanks reiterates that, "Rayleigh-san, you're not going to believe this, but I met a child who said the exact same words as Captain Roger. Can you believe it?" And Rayleigh doesn't say anything, which is really interesting. He doesn't say or respond. He just smiles and takes a drink. What's so interesting about these words Roger said? So we were moving on through Marineford, end of Marineford. Your favorite fight was?
Just Blackbeard unleashing.
I love Blackbeard. Blackbeard's
good.
Just
freaking out.
Oh no, Whitebeard. No, I was about to say, we're on the same train. No, mine was probably when Blackbeard showed up and said, "Curtains up, it's my era. I rule these seas now." And immediately going to St. Marineford. I was so happy. I can't even, like, I was angry at the time because I was like, "Oh no, Whitebeard." But I was like, "That's my guy! He was playing in something! You don't have to..." I was dog walking all of my friends because they're like, "He's an idiot. He's not going to be doing anything, Cody." Nah, I literally dog walked. I was like, "They took the goat's fruit. He's my god." Yep. I've been a Blackbeard ride or die for a while, but oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Do what I had to. Y'all call it taboo. Sorry, I never had love for you anyway. Being my bounty, the situation allowance is money, that's much my life. I love Blackbeard. Blackbeard's so good.
I'm surprised you haven't hit us with a Z ha 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 yet.
Gotta get that G Fuel to calm my throat real quick, you know.
He's gonna do it. You gonna do it?
I might. I'm gonna order pizza for dinner. I'm excited.
Ooh,
pizza.
Pizza.
So.
There we go. There we go.
Damn. No one really takes it out of you.
That's why I don't do it, man.
Really do, B, but I love him. So yeah, Blackbeard showing up and absolutely having his full crew on display, like, that was like the moment for me. And then Shanks immediately showing up and saying, "All right, everyone's done fighting. My mic can't hang." Yeah, I know my mic can't pick up Blackbeard. It's can't match me. Where we at? Blackbeard showing up is one of the coolest moments for me because I love the inversion that Blackbeard's crew has to Shanks's crew, showing as like I think that Shanks's crew at some point or time has to meet Luffy's crew, but I want Shanks's crew to ultimately take a loss to Blackbeard, and then Luffy has to begrudgingly like somehow ally himself with that villain to defeat Emu, because as we saw with Emu cutting up the posters and everything, Blackbeard, Luffy, and Shirahoshi were one of the notables, and then he was holding BB. They were holding BBs because I don't want to misgender the silhouette yet. We don't know yet. It's definitely Lily.
It's not Lily. Do you have any theories though that you yourself have came up with that you'd want to share before we move on to like next arc?
A couple.
Mhm.
Well, speaking about Lily, I think that Lily is going to be, because Oda is bringing in a lot more like religious symbolism here at the end. I think Lily is going to be a parallel to Lilith, the she demon, and the whole story with that is that she ran away from Adam as his first wife, and I think that Emu is going to be like the Adam in that situation, and then Lily will be Lilith. And so she's a demon, so bad, but we're seeing in One Piece that like all of these things that are compared to demons and hell and all of that, they're the good guys, whereas all the heavenly celestial dragons, the seraphim, all of the heavenly like imagery, that's the actual bad guys. So I think we'll see a parallel there with Lily.
I
Like
like
she had to
that.
run away from Emu for some reason.
Like a
Which we
shift
know
in the
that
narrative
already.
of how it actually is. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Like he was trying to force her into like something that she didn't
Yeah.
want to do. I also think that the Straw Hats are going to hell, like to the underworld, something. I have latched onto that and I'm not letting it go until the final chapter when it doesn't happen.
Oh,
No. I
There's these
can't
big
because
holes in the world.
No, if Luffy and the crew go to hell before Ichigo goes because Kubo doesn't want to draw the hell chapters yet, I'm gonna lose it because Bleach is supposed to come back with hell chapters and a whole new arc. And I mean, I as I've already stated, the chapter that was like a 40-page special chapter that Kubo had drawn and released with simultaneously the first episode of the Thousand Year Blood War arcs anime, and so like. Being a Bleach fan who was always telling his friends, don't worry, when that final arc gets animated, these fights are so good, I promise. And actually seeing that come back, and then Bleach coming back a second fold with a new manga chapter, and I was like, oh, I'm dog walking everybody. I'm in it. It's so good. Like, I just love being hyped. I love that there's more content to digest. Like, it's so good. So after this big One Piece break, the return to Sabaody, how did you feel about all of the crew having to train for 2 years and all of them like taking the message? What were your thoughts on like having to train up and the spots that they were picked for it? Robin being at Tequila Wolf with the Revolutionaries, Frankie going to the future island of Baltigo, Baltimore, Baltimore, because Baltigo is the Revolutionary Army. Geography is everything.
Yeah.
Usopp going.
I loved all their power ups. Were so
I gotta know. You
fun
keep talking about Usopp, but like Usopp's transformation there. Oh my goodness, Fat Usopp was peak Usopp. I cannot believe when I saw that. I was on the floor laughing. I fell out of my dining room chair where I was reading at my computer, and I like hit the floor like laughing. I couldn't stop. I couldn't believe that was Usopp. Like he really heard like it's eat or die, and he took those Toriko rules and said, "I'm going to eat, and give me that."
Yep.
Heracles.
I love Usopp so much.
Heracles needs to come back to the story. He's so cool. Like he's like in my top 50 characters. Like, I wish he did something in Stampede. I would have seen like a Stag Beetle Punch or something. Like, he reminds me of Tenemon in like Mega Kabuterimon. Like, he's so cool.
Mega Kabuterimon.
No, actually, it's really funny because Tenemon's voice sound. Oh no, I'm Tenemon. But then when he turns into Kabuterimon, he's like, I'm a kaiju. Like. Digimon's so good. But yeah, Return to Sabaody. Who is your favorite Straw Hat to see their redesign of?
Redesign. Probably Usopp. When he's just like leaning back against the bar.
You're right.
Love
Fake
that.
Usopp was so good. I love that he had the Soga King mask on all the time. It was really good. Like,
Yes. Yes.
the fake Straw Hat Cruise. How did you feel about that plot beat? Do you think that Chopper actually falling for them was necessary, or
Oh
did
my
you
gosh.
feel it was a bit
I mean,
disingenuous?
I thought it was funny. I always think it's funny when like Luffy doesn't recognize somebody. So having Chopper do it didn't really bother me at all.
I don't know, man. Chopper's
That
supposed to be
that
this like
little bitty
super
arc didn't
smart
really do a whole
doctor.
lot for me.
It made
Yeah.
me a little upset because I was like, "That's my boy Chopper. There's no way he wouldn't recognize it. That's not Robin. Like, that's not Robin in any way, shape, or form. Universe. That's not. None of it is anatomically correct. She's not even the right height. The Chopper, my boy, you are a doctor. That doesn't happen. Kureha got old. That didn't happen. I'm just like fighting for my boy Chopper. After Return to Sabaody, we got Fishman Island finally. After waiting
Yep.
for so long, I cannot tell you how long people were waiting for Fishman Island. How did you like reading Fishman Island? Because being a One Piece fan and like as long as I have, I've always heard people like rate it near the bottom of their tiers if they had to rate all of the arcs. And it's generally a more hated upon arc than I think it's deserved. But how did you feel about it?
I agree. I really enjoyed it. Like I know people hate on it because of Sanji. Sanji didn't bother me as much in Fishman Island as he did what he said in Thriller Bark. So like Thriller Bark was like Sanji as low as he could go for me, so it was only up from there. So that didn't bother me, and I was waiting. I wanted to know more about is it Neptune?
Yes, the king.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Or
No. The ancient weapon. Which
oh
one is
yeah,
Shirahoshi?
Shirahoshi. Yeah, she's oh my god, Uranus, Pluton, and
Is it
how am I
Neptune?
thinking of- It is Neptune. Cody, are we right? Is it
Okay,
Neptune?
it's confusing because the king's name is also Neptune. So I always think that I'm wrong.
So do I. Then now I'm
But-
questioning it as well.
I know, right? No, I
King
was
Neptune
waiting for
is
that-
at the
that
bottom of
reveal.
Fishman Island. One of the coolest things about
the ancient weapon in Fishman
Pluton.
Island.
Pluto.
Pluton.
No, not Pluton.
Pluton.
It's Shirahoshi.
Pluton.
Is it? It's Poseidon.
Poseidon.
You guys-
Yes.
I'm trying to
okay,
answer.
yeah.
I'm trying to answer
We were
my
right there.
phone
Neptune,
and.
Poseidon.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but I was waiting for the Poseidon reveal.
That's a big reveal.
It was
Like
so,
ever
so
since,
good.
because
I
like
loved
ancient
it.
weapons had been revealed ever since Alabasta. So to like actually like finally see what like one actually entail
answers.
and get answers. Oh, who is Joy Boy? Like, oh my gosh, Robin talking
That
to
was
King
awesome.
Neptune. Like, ooh, that was spicy. But one of the cool things I really liked was Oda's parallel, and I always try to like talk about this, but I don't really like. I'm not a very well educated man, but the parallels that like 40 Jones and Jinbei have to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and the takes that like they saw racism and the way they used their like prejudice and like hatred for these different races. Like Oda was in his mastercraft of storytelling right there, and it was so good. Like, how did you feel about the whole Fishman Island storytelling and Hachi coming back, Jinbei like trying to stop Luffy from initiating more hatred of humans? Like I thought it was a really well put together arc that wasn't just Luffy has to beat up the strong bad guy just cuz. Like there was like actual motivations and thought put behind it.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody I don't face racism in the same way as other people do, but so from my point of view, I thought it was very well done, and I think that makes it sad that it gets overlooked as an arc because of the stupid gag with Sanji, because there is so much nuance there and so much to take away from it, and I think Oda did a really, really great job with it, and it just the arc gets kind of clowned on all the time, and it's sad. I was expecting the art to be so terrible from the way people were talking. I thought I was gonna have the worst time reading it. I was like, this sucks because we've just passed the time skip. We're in the new world. Like, I was so excited for this. and
No,
people
and
were
I
like,
mean, like
"Oh, it's the worst
Fukaboshi,
one."
like the princes of
Yeah,
Neptune, like they're all
I
such
love
interesting
Fukaboshi.
characters, and like how they all defend
Yeah.
their sister Shirahoshi. I love all of them. Like Vanderdecken
Uh,
actually.
Ryoboshi is the best brother. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Yo, actually, Lucas, I was gonna actually ask you, since you are the master of, well, actually, the master of Parvision cooking, I think, would be 3-day. But if you could remember, the Vanderdecken is a mushroom theory, or
Yes.
like the general, like, what is
What?
like? I see. I knew Katie would have never heard of this. So if you could summarize
No.
that, like
I don't
layman
remember all
terms,
of it.
can
So
you?
what I remember from it is, so there's a mushroom species in Big Mom's son's book, the one that he traps Luffy and them in.
Mondor.
Mondor, thank you. The one that they're planning on putting Brooke in and everything. And there's a mushroom person in there. I can't remember what they're called, but they have 4 legs. And the only other person in the entire series besides that mushroom person that have 4 legs is Vanderdecken. And
Huh.
he's obviously some part fishman, but
Yeah.
the theory is that he's like half fishman, half mushroom person. I can't remember what they're called. They have a name, and I'm spacing on it completely because
Okay.
that's the one time we
Kinko
see him.
Kino Kibito.
Kino
Four-legged.
Kabito, yeah, 4-legged.
Yeah. Thank you, Vexyz, the lurking legend, the lurking twerking legend.
The
When
goat.
did Par enter the chat? Lamau? Nah. I don't think Parvision's in the chat. If he is, I missed something. So we're cooking through Fishman Island. We love that arc. I love the showing off of the Noah voice of all things.
Yes.
Luffy being able to
Yes.
hear the voices. That
And
was super.
Shirahoshi too.
Yes, and then I think they had a flashback to when Roger kept asking, "Who's that? Who are y'all?
Yeah.
Young matey. Who you be talking out there?" I always imagine Roger is like the
There's so much social commentary and lore in Fishman Island. It's I love it. I think it's a great.
Oh my
arc.
gosh!
Probably
Oh my
top
gosh!
One
The
of the
Doflamingo,
sorry.
the Don Quixote guy, coming down and meeting with Queen Otohime and like sending her back
Yeah.
up there with him, and like
Moist Guard?
yes, the Moist Guard, Rip, maybe, I don't know.
Rip, yeah, he got killed. He was crucified,
like it. Yeah,
legitimately.
seems
Yeah,
like it.
one of
man.
the biggest disrespectful things that One Piece fans don't recognize from Fishman Village is the pinky out should be just as iconic in the One Piece fandom as raising your fist with the X on it, with Otohime and her kids and like doing the pinky thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I loved her relationship with her kids. It was so good.
Like, I'm a father, so anything involving children like that, it always gets me. It's such a well-written arc, and Odahime's backstory and the way it ties into Fisher Tiger's backstory and everything is just perfect. And I never understood the hate. I get it that Hody Jones is not the like big villain that he could be, but
No, man, Hody Jones still terrifies me. Like the fact that he went as far as he did just because, like, that's some Joker. That's some Joker brain level stuff. I'm the Joker, baby.
And then I don't know. People were like, "Yeah, but he uses like performance enhancing drugs to like fight." It's like it doesn't matter, man. Like he's an oppressed person that has had enough, and yes, he's going about it the wrong way, but it doesn't. Like in his mind, it does not matter. He's at his breaking point. Like he has to do anything to get into a better position in life, and he's willing to do it. Yeah, he's not the best written villain in One Piece, but he is definitely a good written villain in One Piece.
I think so too. I do.
And then after Fishman Island, we finally make our way to the New World. And oh my goodness, New World. Where do I even start? Punk Hazard. Punk Hazard's so good. I love that Luffy didn't want to go.
Hazard.
I love that Luffy saw Raijin Island and everyone was like, please no. And Luffy's like, boy, I'm made of rubber. Y'all can figure it out. And then they heard the distress call and they're like, okay. This is definitely a million times more interesting. And them going to Punk Hazard and having, I think it was Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, and Robin be the crew that goes over on the Little Mary. Shout out the Mini Mary. Oh my goodness. My heartbeat, like, it skipped a beat when I saw Mini Mary. It made me so happy, because, like, and Usopp was on it. Usopp was one of the first people to ride the Mini Mary. That's just accolades. Like, that also, like, supports the theory that I think Usopp is going to lead like his own armada underneath Luffy, and he is going to be the captain, whereas Luffy is going to be like the general of like the Straw Hats. Like he's going to be like the leading
Ooh.
commander in chief,
The,
and
the
Usopp is
king
going
of
to
the pirates.
finally. But Luffy is, or well, Usopp will finally like recognize his own moniker,
Be
of
captain.
Captain Usopp. Like
Yeah.
that's my big thing.
10,000 brave warriors.
Yeah, I think
And
that lie will come true too. The 10,000 brave. I think he'll be
Yeah.
the captain of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet in the end.
Mhm.
Like he'll be the one that
Oh,
leads
that would be amazing.
everyone.
Oh, that would be so validating as an Usopp fan.
Yeah, exactly. It's my ultimate goal for him, and because then he's a brave warrior of sea. He's Captain Usopp.
Yep.
Seeing Zoro
Oh.
take after his ancestor Ryuma, have you read the other one-shots that Oda put out before One Piece,
Mm-mm.
known as Wanted? So Oda had these other 6 one-shots along with One Piece called it was in the One Piece like Wanted. There was this other thing called Romance Dawn and a bunch of other like little like one-shot stories that he did. And one of them was, oh my gosh, I can't remember the one that Ryuma was in. I'm crying.
I think is it called Monster?
Yes,
yeah.
it is Monster. Thank you.
Yeah.
So in Monster, Ryuma is searching for a strong opponent to kill throughout all of the world, throughout this like Western world as a samurai, and he hears rumors about himself ultimately because he's so strong that everyone makes rumors up about Ryuma. But Ryuma travels to places that is like, oh, I just missed him. Dang, I'll have to go back and look that way. And it's so like. At one point, this dragon goes and it's like, "Oh, so you're the terror that everyone's been looking." He's like, "No, I'm not, but I'm looking for him, and I'll cut you down if you want." And like seeing like Zoro take almost that same thing and like decapitating a dragon, like the way Ryuma was depicted in the stories from Thriller Bark as like the one-eyed samurai who had slain a dragon. Like the symbolism is so good. Also, like the first like I think that's the first time we see. I think Raijin Island in my head canon is one of the islands that have been transformed with an awakened Logia fruit, like the Goro Goro no Mi. And I think Punk Hazard would have been like the first actual island we stepped foot on that got transformed by the Magu Magu and the Chill Chill fruit from Kuzan. Like, man, dog, them kid, you are Big Dad. Oh my goodness. But yeah, what was your favorite moment from Punk Hazard? Like I loved seeing all of the body swapping
Favorite
that
moment?
Law. I loved Virgo getting
I love the body swapping.
Yeah, it's like
and Virgo
Robin
with food stuck on his face.
Robin telling Frankie to shut up is so amazing.
Yes.
Don't ever speak a word while you're in his body again. Like
Yes.
It's so good. Law. I have to tell you, my
Law's
favorite moment from Punk Hazard is Law asking Luffy to join an alliance, and like Luffy's like, as long as it's not Shanks, I don't care because I'm taking down all of the 4 emperors. From that moment onward, that was like 20 years of waiting till Wano. I tell you what, I waited so long to see Luffy and Law gang up to beat on Kaido. Wano is my favorite arc by far because that payoff it's so goated for me. But like, how did you feel about the decision as making Kaido the first emperor that Luffy went after instead of Big Mom after his declaration on Fishman Island? How did you feel about that choice?
I was happy about it because right around Punk Hazard, like as soon as Momo is introduced and you see Momo's fruit was a clone of the other fruit, I started connecting the dots, and I need you all to understand that dragons are my favorite thing in fantasy. So this dragon is there on Punk Hazard, and I was so excited, and then it immediately gets cut down, and I was like, no, I want dragons in this story. And so then we see Momo, and I start putting it together, and I was like, no, we need to get to Kaido as soon as possible, because if he's a freaking dragon, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh, it was so good. So I love Punk Hazard. It's one of my favorite arcs for setting all of that up. I love that arc so much.
Well, Kaido is a duck, so
he's a duck.
Yeah, that if you
he's
weren't
a poneglyph.
So, oh my goodness, you know, that's an old Tekking theory. If you were week to week watching Tekking was doing chapter reviews, and he's like, all right, we got to figure out if Kaido's a dragon or if this is a devil fruit or what's up. I'm putting 5 animals on here: duck, fish, rabbit, deer. What else has horns? And I remember Tekking just like, he's a duck. Ducks like the water. Kaido likes water, I bet. I was like, Tekking, if you had picked a fish, you would have you would have been able to like ride this community to the end of One Piece. Like you would have called that so well. Teching theories are my favorite because if Teching ever gets one right, that's it. That's it for the One Piece. Like, that's confirmation Oda watches Teching. That's all I need. So, Smoker fighting Virgo, as a vice admiral, do you think Smoker has anything left in store for the story? Like, what are your current
I
thoughts
hope
on
so.
Smoker right now? Because this is Smoker's really like last debut, and till like he hasn't even done anything. Not to put the fraud allegations out there or anything like I do for the meme, but like realistically, Smoker has lots to Luffy. He held off Ace and Alabasta. I mean, I'm just trying to wonder what else is left for him to do in the series. And people keep saying, hey, he's on his way to Blackbeard's Island to go take him out. Oh, I don't think so. There's no way, because a Smoker would have been at a Tashigi's hip then. Okay, Smoker's on his way to Egghead right now to go take out Luffy. He would have been there with all the other vice admirals and at least shown off instead of Grandma ride free. Don't ever put that on Oda. Okay, Smoker's going to 1v1 all of Cross Guild. No. I as much as Smoker doesn't like Buggy and Crocodile, if Smoker actually does succeed in like taking out a good chunk of them, I'd be a little upset. Like, how? There's no way. Smoker's done nothing but take L's and you're gonna take his 1W off screen? No. Show me that. Where's Waldo? Where is Smoker? Because all three places he should be, he is not. And I want my man, like, I want him to do something cool. Like, ever since Stampede, I've had this, like, headcanon that, like, Smoker is gonna come around to Luffy and seeing his way is the way to do things. And, like, where's Smoker?
Well, it's like you were saying, he's only taken L's. So I feel like that's a sign from the universe that he needs to switch sides, and then he'll get his first win.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And like as soon as Smoker started working with Luffy, he was able to save all of the children and everyone away from. As soon as Smoker started helping Luffy and Alabasta, was only Crocodile dethroned and able to be taken away. Like, Smoker, I think Smoker needs to have this moment, and I want more for him, and that's why I keep putting him on Broad Watch, because you should be doing more. Like, you really, you are a vice admiral, my guy. If Garp's out there, like, galaxy dividing, galaxy impacting, like, islands left and right, I'm sorry, Smoker. I need it. I'm sorry to say that I need this, but I need it. So after Punk Hazard, Luffy and crew start making their way towards Dressrosa with... oh my gosh, how did we not talk about the introduction of farting Kinemon? Oh my goodness. Kinemon the GOAT. I never thought I'd be so sad. Like, catch 15-year-old Cody catching strays out here, but I was dumb. I never understood why I didn't like Kinemon at first, but like, on reread, what a fantastic character. And like, lying and saying that he's Momo's father, like, oh my... Like, that reveal on Zoe when...
No, dude,
so good.
I've had a problem with the fandom for a while because everyone talks about how much they miss Law and shit. I miss Kinemon so much. One of my favorite moments since we're getting to Dressrosa, in all of Dressrosa.
It's a fake Doflamingo outfit.
Yeah,
oh
the fake
my
Doflamingo. He just walks in and he's like, "Yes, it is I, young Doflamingo."
What's funny is like he does the same walk that they made in the anime from the weird walk that he does with Kuma. You know, the little... Yeah, like Kinemon does that same walk. Like, Toei rarely gets me to sing their praises, but good job, Toei. You did something right. Every clock is right twice a day. Losers, Toei animation. Anyway, man, Dressrosa. That is so long. That's like one of the first One Piece arcs that's like over like 100 chapters. It was like a third of the series at the point when it started coming out and was super long. Out of all of Dressrosa, what was the most impactful moment to you?
Okay, so I am Sabo's #1 fan. Sabo is my favorite character that's not a Straw Hat, And from the moment he was introduced, I was like, he's not dead. Like he cannot be dead. I was theorizing that everyone was Sabo. I thought Killer was Sabo at one point. Sabo has to be alive. So then the fact that he's working with the revolutionaries and like just his introduction, Luffy in that panel where he starts crying with his eyes, I will never forget reading that for the first time.
When
I love Sabo so much.
that panel dropped with Luffy doing it was a whole page spread of Luffy doing and like,
Yep.
I remember for Neverworld, I remember Tekking, I remember Sawyer. Everyone was using that image, and they're like, "It's it." And I remember one of the coolest ways that you could have told if Sabo was back was if you looked at the graves of Whitebeard and Ace. After
Yep.
Marco and Shanks are talking, if you look, you can see the sake cups on Ace's grave, and the
Yep.
only person who would know to put 3 sake cups there because there are 3 brothers. Between Ace, Sabo, and Luffy, well, Luffy wasn't there, so it would have been.
Nope.
Sabo.
Yeah, no, as soon as I saw that little cover, I was like, I lost it. And then that moment with Luffy, I was sobbing. I was so happy.
Oh my gosh, Bartolomeo, Cavendish, Kyros, Rebecca.
I love Cavendish.
Oh,
I love
Cavendish is so
Dressrosa is my second favorite arc.
Oh,
Like start to finish, I
really?
love it.
Oh man.
Yep.
Dressrosa is so long for me though. Like it really long.
Well, I didn't
me
have
as
to.
the Wano defender.
I read it all as in one go.
Oh, yeah,
I
true.
didn't have to wait weekly.
Man, dog, Dressrosa was a chunk of my life. Actually, that's like a couple years. Wano was a couple years.
I'm reading it again for the second time right now.
Oh my god, no way. Cavendish and Barto are so good. I really like the guy who Dellinger, the boy with the fishman hybrid boy with the high heels. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Yes.
Like watching him just absolutely mollywop everyone. Like, we'll take out this weakling, and he's like, I
don't know if you've ever walked in heels, but him doing all of those acrobatics and like just murking people in heels was amazing.
Phenomenal.
Like, oof.
Koala and
he's like a kid. He's really young.
Yeah, he's like 14 or 15.
I thought he was 13.
Yeah,
he might be.
He's really young.
He's just out there destroying people, and then turn into a half-bull fish man and be like,
Yeah, and Koala coming back was amazing. I love that so much. I loved her character design. I loved Sabo's character design. It was very happy time for me.
Seeing Zoro react to Sabo the same way he reacted to Ace and being like, they're similar, they're the same in that way. It's like made me have a smile on my face. And like seeing Sabo trust Luffy's crew so much. The ending of not even the ending of Dressrosa, but like it's like midway through Dressrosa when all of the country has their hopes on Luffy, like crying out for his name, and the announcer is like, "You can do it, Lucy! Do it!" Like, oh my goodness.
Lucy.
Like Law's backstory though, probably. I know this is a controversial take. I think Law has the saddest story in backstory in One Piece.
I did until I read Kuma's.
Yeah, Kuma's sad. Law watched his sister burn alive.
Yeah,
I mean, he had to listen to his surrogate father die and get shot by his uncle. Like Doflamingo, for all intents and purposes, like if Roshinante's his dad, sorry y'all, Doflamingo's his unkie, and everyone's got that one uncle. A little weirder than everyone else.
Are you saying that Doflamingo is Law's creepy uncle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Picked it up. Let's go.
Kinda.
What do you? Oh man, Law is such a great character. What did you think about the three-way fight on Greenbit? Like, between Doflamingo, Fujitora, and Law. I remember everyone was speculating that was going to be Fujitora's turning point, and he was actually going to turn and help the Straw Hats at that point in time. But Fujitora sticking to his guns and helping Doflamingo, how did you feel about that?
I hated it, and I don't think he liked it either. But yeah, no, I hated that moment. I didn't hate Fujitora for it, but it's just like, the correct answer is right there, and he didn't go that direction. It just like, I don't know, it fits so well with Law's like tragic character though.
You still gotta wrap up, Lucas?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we can, all right, this has been fun, Katie. We're definitely gonna have to get you and Chelsea on here because we have got to get you cooking on here more often. This has been nothing short of a pleasure. Let these people know where to find you and your wonderful takes.
Yeah, I am on TikTok at PaisleyPikachu, where I talk about One Piece every day. And then I also I'm one of the founders of the Worst Gen Reading Club here on Discord. There's links in my TikTok bio for it. But yeah, we're reading Haikyuu right now. This Friday, we're starting a One Piece reread and also just a read for anybody that's new to it. We're going to do the first 2 volumes. We're opening that discussion up on Friday, and it's going to be super fun. The hype is already crazy. We've had people joining just for that. It's going to be a blast. So but thank you all so much for having me on here. This was awesome.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. We're definitely going to have you on for streams and stuff. Cody, you're
We
about
need
to say
to
something.
we need
Oh,
to
sorry.
just devote some time to Wano.
Yes.
You have no idea. I mean, he's right here. He's right here. Like, Odin is literally my guy.
Yep.
What I own all of Wano. Like, Wano is my. It's like I put down buying One Piece manga volumes because I was like, it's gonna be cheaper to buy
That's
them in
the
box
only arc
sets.
that I own is Wano back there.
Dude, we are same. We are the same. Lucas, why don't you let these wonderful people know where to find your wonderful takes and your wonderful voice?
Yes, you can find me here on The Last Arc. As always, we the new News Coup episode for chapter 1099. It's a very, very good episode, if I do say myself, and I'm not saying that because I created the thing, but go watch it. But yes, you can find me here on The Last Arc. You can also find me on TikTok at straw_hat_Lucas. And on Saturday nights, you can find me on twitch.tv/SSJ8Cody playing some One Piece D&D. It's the most fun I've had in forever. It's such a good time, such a good time. And Cody, oh my gosh, the One Piece D&D is overtaking Cody. Why don't you close this out, buddy? Let's get
Awesome.
it.
Well, everyone, you know what it is. It's me, Cody, the special great sorcerer of the Last Arc YouTube channel. You should subscribe and like D-Stream, and don't forget to join the Discord so that you can catch up on all of our crazy antics and shenanigans. We're always streaming D&D weekly. Don't forget that Group 2 is on Tuesday and Group 2 solos. Don't forget that we also have Blotto Pirates on Wednesdays, I'm pretty sure. Group 3 on Dire Regulus's channel. Don't forget to check out Chadmirals on Fridays, which is our weekly podcast where me and Lucas
Yay.
get crazy and we spit some wild, wild takes. Don't forget to also have a wonderful night. And go watch my TikToks for crazy takes because I'm going to be uploading a bunch of Jujutsu Kaisen TikToks because, oh my god, my boy Yuji. I got to stop. But anyway, like the stream, subscribe, and have a wonderful